Okay, boys and girls, welcome to the next video in the Bing Scraper series. I believe this is video 4. I woke up late today. I just got up about 10 minutes ago, so excuse me. Got a little bit of brain fog. Frog? There you go, straight away. Fog. Just having my first coffee, so hopefully I'll wake up soon. Right, in this video, we're going to continue with building out our Bing Scraper. Before that, just the usual plugs. If you haven't already done so, get your ass over to thebotempire.com. The site has just started to be revamped, so it's got a new look. So tell me what you think on that. Also, if you haven't already done so, check out the course so you can become a BAS master, a bot creation master. So make sure you get into that. We offer support as well. And if you need a script or you need one-on-one training to create the bot of your dreams, anyway, the link is in the description to get over to the website. And also, guys, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you come and say hello in the Discord chat. Discord is just, if you haven't used it before, it's just like in my opinion, a lot better version than Skype. Okay, so come and say hello. That we put videos on there and we're helping each other out with building bots. So yeah, come and say hello there. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that mother trucking subscribe and bell icon so you get notified when I release new videos. Okay, let's get on with today's meat and potatoes of the video. So far this bot is coming on quite nicely. We have a bot that goes to Bing with a list of keywords that you provide. It's scraping now not just the front page, but it's scraping as many pages as you or your client inputs. It's scraping that information into a nice little database, and it's also inputting the keyword that it was scraped from. So that's all well and good. What I want to do today, I'm on a bit of a limited time. What I want to do is start adding stuff. I just want to add stuff. Okay, I want to add. So when we come to a particular link, I want to go to each one of the links that we scrape. Okay, and to start with today, I just want to scrape the title tags of each one of the web page. So why am I doing this? Well, one, I'm going to do this without the browser. So it's going to be using requests. So it's going to teach you how to scrape anything you want using just requests and not the browser. And we do this because it's ultra fast compared to loading the browser. It takes up 100th of the resources of your computer. And if you can scrape without the browser, it's always the best way. It's a lot quicker when you run your bot, and when I say quicker, I mean 100 times quicker. You can run a lot more threads. You can't always scrape without the browser. It depends on the case, but in this instance, we can. Okay, so just to kind of recap, what I want to do is once we've scraped what we want to scrape, okay, for our keywords, I want to go to each one of these links. So let's look at our database. Show database. Database manager. Okay, so what do we have in here? We have the URL of the scraped data, and we have the keyword that it was scraped from. And now what I want to do is get the title tag of the website. So why the title tag? Why am I scraping that? Well, once you've learned how to do that, okay, you can do the same process, but with anything on the page. You could be searching for an email. Maybe you want to build a bot that kind of grabs all the H1 tags and then use them for a page creator, or it could, there's a myriad of things that you might want to scrape from the page. Maybe you want to look for their social media information, their email, how many times they're using a keyword. You could build out tools that cost like $100 a month to buy online, and you can build your own version of them for your own use or to resell. So by grabbing the title tag, it's just a way to, the title tag is useful, of course, but it's just a way that you can run with that to scrape anything you want from a page, basically. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is with the database schema. So let's just go project, show database, edit the database schema, because we want to introduce a new column to our database. So I'm going to use the add column. I'm going to call this, I'm going to call it tutul. Okay, time to wake up. Title, and then we need to put title back in here. Okay, and then save, and then restart. So we just saved, and then you need to restart. Press the button that says restart. That will restart BAS. You need to do this every time you make a change to the database structure. Okay, so now when we show database manager, we have our new field here. So now we'll have URL, keyword, and title. Now, as you'd learned from the course, there's a whole video on how there's more than one way to skin a cat, and all that basically means is, and I've said this in previous videos in this series, there is always more than one way to do things. I'm going to use the method that I'm going to show you so that you're learning as much as possible. And the method I'm going to use, or the way that I'm going to do things, is I'm going to have a separate tab in our GUI. So you haven't seen this before in the series, so it's going to teach you that, and it's going to make things easy for you to understand. You could have everything under one tab, but we're going to go and build another tab. So what I'm going to do is create a resource, and it's going to be called what should I call it that's descriptive? Database for tags. Although we're going to use the same database, the only one we've got, obviously, in this case. And then under what type of resource? Database. Hit next. Only read, next. Use count, yes. Yes. Now what I'm going to do is grab this. You can grab the resource with your left mouse button, and where it says no tab, no, I mean, drag resource here to create a new tab, move it over there, and this is going to be called, just for now, I'm going to call it tile grabber. Oh my goodness. Title grabber. Okay? Call it whatever makes sense to you. In fact, it's probably not the best thing, but there you go. So now we have two tabs for our GUI, graphical user interface. So I'm just going to click on this one, which is basically where all our main options are, and then we've got one called title tab, which has the database for tags in. You'll see our main one now has no name. You can click your right mouse button and click edit, and did I do that right? Yeah, edit, and call it, I'm just going to call it main. Again, call it what makes sense to you. So now we have two tabs, main and title grabber. Okay, so let us save what we've done, and then I'm going to hit record. Database to use, you just always hit all because you've only got one database, so this ain't going to be an issue. Hit OK. In fact, what I'm going to do before this, so that you can learn, if you haven't already looked at the free videos on there about script logic. Yeah, I think that what we're going to do is add to this right now. What we're going to do under title grabber, we're going to create a resource so that you learn another feature. I know, all this value for free. I mean, oh, I should get a medal, right? Okay, so we're going to create a resource called use title grabber. I'm having real struggles with this word today. Use title grabber, and the option I'm going to put is select, so that we can select whether to use this section of the bot. So use the select, but yes. For this, I'm going to use the checkbox option and just put yes in here. So let me explain. I'm just going to press finish, then finish. So when I'm going to save, now if I hit record now, you'll see the options there. So if I put yes, that equals true. If it's unchecked, it means false when we come to building a bot. So we can use script logic and say we can check if this is checked, and then if so, run a certain feature. If it's unchecked, then don't run it. And this is going to make sense as we progress. So I'm going to have it checked, hit OK. So we're going to build some logic at the start as soon as the bot runs. And this is going to get a bit more in depth now. So what I'm going to do, and guys, another shameless plug, but I'm going to skim over this because it's a subject that's quite in depth. But the course goes through this really in depth because it's a big feature. And what I'm going to talk about now is functions. Okay, so a function is a mini part of your bot, like a section of code that you can choose to run on itself. See it as a bot within a bot. Okay, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a piece of code, a separate piece of code that you can run if something's true or something happens within your bot, then you can run a separate piece of code. So a bot within a bot. That's the easiest way to think of things to start with. Okay. So I'm going to click at the bottom where it says main, and I can use this icon here to add. So I'm going to add a function. Okay. Remember what I said, a bot within a bot. So the name of this function is empty. So I'm going to press the pen icon and call this grab title. Oh, okay. Grab title. Okay. So it's a function that's called grab title. Okay. Now hit save changes. And then you'll see we've got a separate, it's like having a separate bot. Okay. You'll see under here, we're in the function called grab title. So I'm just going to click it and click at the bottom where it says grab title. And you'll see now we've got options. We can work with the function called grab title or the one that says main. So I'm going to click and go back to our main, and you'll be brought back to the bot that we've been creating. Don't worry, it hasn't gone anywhere. Just know that if you click now the main, we can now skip between functions and we can build new functions here. So functions are great because as your bots get bigger, as you've seen now, at first we didn't need functions, okay? It was just a tiny script, no need. But as your bots grow and when you're building big, gigantic projects, keeping things in functions keeps it nice and tidy, and you can reuse functions at different points in your bot. It's all going to become clear as we build this out. But we've got a separate function because, well, you're going to see why. It's better to show you by example, actually. So we're going to go to main, okay? Now, we're going to do this. We're going to use script logic, and we're going to say if, so as soon as the bot starts, if, and then we're going to say our resource called use title grabber. Remember, that's the resource with a checkbox. And hit OK. So if this equals true, in other words, if this is checked, so if the box use title grabber and our GUI is checked, then hit OK, then run this block of code underneath. Okay, and what's that block of code going to be? Then we're going to go to script logic again, and we're going to use the call function. Okay, what I'm going to do is the one underneath actually, because as we build out the bot, we're going to use it in multi-threads. So call function in several threads. In other words, use a function that we've made. Okay, call function. What function do we want to call? We've only got one, grab title. Okay, how many threads, how many times do we want to run the bot? Remember, it's a bot within a bot. So the stuff that we created here, like how many threads to run, how many runs to do, and how many how many runs to do and how many fails allowed, can be edited here because it's a bot within a bot. It's a separate kind of, it's a function. So we can just, for now, I'm going to do the same as we done before. I'm going to load the threads in here. resource. The amount of runs to do, I'm going to keep the same as the main bot. So again, amount of keywords to scrape, and the fail amount. Okay, and hit OK. So now the bot starts and it says if use total grabber equals true, or in other words, if that checkbox is ticked, then go into the function called grab title. Okay, so let's mimic that by clicking here and going to grab title. See, and then it's going to go into this function, which at the moment is absolutely empty. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Let me just run over that. I know I'm going over it in kind of detail. I hope that helps and you're not getting too bored. Okay, so when we hit record, this, if it's checked, is true, unchecked is false. So checked, true. Hit OK, hit OK. Okay, so the bot starts. So if that is checked, then go into this function. Okay, if it's not true, it's just going to continue on down here as we've done in the previous videos, and it's not going to go into that function at all. Okay, so it's just going to do all the scraping that we've previously done. If that is true, then we're going to go into here, the function called grab title, which is going to be our new function on the new part of the bot that we're going to build out. So what we want to do now is another thing that you're going to learn is we're going to use the script logic. Are we? No, we're not. We're going to go into tools and we're going to pass line. Okay, so let me just fill this out and then I'll show you what I've done. Okay, guys, so in fact, I should have just explained as I was going through what let me just, in case you didn't see what I was doing, it makes sense to explain as I go through. So I'm going to tools and there's an option to pass, pass line. In other words, grab a line, okay, grab some text. Now, what do I want to grab? Well, I want to grab from our resources the database called the database for tags. Remember we built that at the start, so it's accessing the only database we've got. Okay, that'll become clear in a second. So then hit next, and then I want to uncheck this box so that we're only passing or grabbing each line once. So uncheck. Now it's going to grab the fields from the database. Okay, what do we want to call them? So it's going to put the information into variables. I've talked about variables before. They're just like placeholders. See it as a bucket, an empty folder, whatever makes sense to you. So it's just a space that we can put information in. Could be a number, could be a string, could be anything. Okay, so what do we want to call this different strings? So we're going to have, there's three, isn't there? There's three columns in our database. So the first one is the URL. Okay, so I'm going to call the first thing it grabs URL. The second thing is the keyword. And the third thing is going to be the title, okay, which will be empty to start with. So boom. Okay, so we've gone to the database. We're grabbing the first line that's in that database and putting the information, the first column, into a variable called URL, the second one called keyword, and did I do that right? Come on, Dean. Like that. So you separate them by comma. Okay, so URL, keyword, and title. Okay. So let's press our little bug icon here and see what we've got. Do you see, look, under keyword variable, help with back pain, which is correct. We've got no title because the title is empty. And if I can just find the should have, there you go. URL is here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We've gone to the database. Let's go full hog. Let's save what we've done. Okay, show database, database manager. So we're saying go to the database and pass each line. So grab this, this, and this, and and then we're putting the information into variables. So it's putting the URL into a variable called URL. It's putting the keyword into a variable called keyword, and the title into a variable called title. So let's record. Okay, so we've got our two sections here, our main, okay, and our title, our main, and then we have our tab called title grabber, and then we're using all because there's only one database, so just always have it on all for now, and then use title grabber, yes please. So hit OK, hit OK. Okay, so press the run next action button, and why are you doing this to me? Equals, do we need this in? I forget. Should be right. No, what am I doing? Okay guys, let me show you the mistake I make. Okay, so use title grabber because I was telling you about true and false. I put in true. Okay, if it equals yes, okay, because that's what I called the checkbox. Let me explain so there's no confusion. Okay, so where I hit record, okay, if this is checked, it's equal to true, okay, and unchecked is false. That what I said is correct, okay, but the item that I called the checkbox, okay, is called yes. I gave it an option called yes, so that's what it needs to check, which will make it true. Okay, so if you saw when I was making the actual resource and choosing select as the option, you can put as many different options in as you want. So I could have put yes, maybe, no, only on Tuesdays. Okay, but this option that I made is called yes. So leave it checked. Okay. So then here I'm saying if use title grabber equals yes. Okay. Okay. Then it goes here. Okay, because it is ticked as yes, and then it's going to go into our new function. If we uncheck that box, then it's going to skip over that and do what the bot does normally, what we've done in previous videos. So pass the line, add the first one into, pass the first entry of the database and put each section into different variables, URL, keyword, and title. Then what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to build a regular expression because we're not going to use the browser to scrape this data. Okay, so again, I know it's a shameless plug, but it's too in depth for this video to go explain to you everything to do with regular expressions. There's 3 videos in the course, but I am gonna show you how it works so that you've got base understanding. Why we're building a regular expression is regular expressions are used all the time to scrape data. You can build regular expressions, and it's a vast subject. You can build regular expressions, and they can be really complicated. To grab anything from the source code of a website. However, luckily for us, BAS has its own builder, okay, a regular expression builder to make this easier work for us. So I'm going to go to Tools, okay, and then Regular Expression Constructor. And then the only button, so you shouldn't go wrong here, I want to build a regular expression. Now we need to input our data. I'm going to keep this really simple as possible. A regular expression is a way to grab information from a website, and what we want to do, we want to grab something before the information we want to grab and something after. Like if it's a web page, 2 tags. So let me show you. So I've just grabbed a random website here, hit copy, and put it into the regular expression builder. So we are going to grab the title tag, the information within the title tag for each one of the URLs we scraped. So my something before the date we want to grab is the start tag here, the title tag, the start of the title tag. And the thing afterwards is the closing title tag. And we want to scrape anything that's in between these two titles. Okay, so it's the easiest way to get you started with regular expressions is whatever you want to scrape, you want to find a start point and an end point, and you'll scrape anything that's in between the start point and the end point. It could be anything that's on the page. Obviously, using the tags, the HTML tags is an easy way to do it. So I've input into the first box the HTML. I've come to the source code of a page, and I've to get to the source code, guys, you can be on any page. It was this page that I chose. Right click and then view source code. I know I'm going pretty quick over this. I really can't include everything to do with regular expressions in this video, but this will be enough to get you started and to follow along. And I'm using the title tag for this bot. We're scraping the title tags of each page, but this could be anything. You could be looking for doing the same thing, but scraping the H1 tags, H2, video URLs, whatever the case. Okay, so then hit next. Now select the result. So out of this, what do I want to grab? Well, it's going to be the information in between the title tags. Okay, and this could be anything. It's just what you want to grab. So it's the stuff in between the title tags. Next, then you highlight your start point. So what's the thing before the information that you want to grab? Well, it's the start title tag. So highlight that. It's going to bring you to the screen, and you've got so many options. Okay, but for now, yes, it's this exact text that we want to search for, the start title tag. How many times is it going to show? 1. Accept. And then the same, but with the end thing that we're looking for, which is the closing title tag. It has to be exactly that, the closing title tag. And then how many times are we looking for it? 1 time. And then again, you have to highlight the text that you're looking for, which is anything that's in between the title tags. And you'll come to this screen. Now, that's where this is different. With this, you want to say, you've got all these options. What are we looking for in between these tags? Is it a digit? Is it a white space, a letter? Here's a good thing to get you started. Always use the any symbol, because that means anything that's in between the tags. Grab. How many times does this occur? Well, we don't know. It's going to be different all the time. It's not going to be one symbol. A symbol, by the way, could be anything. So it could be a number, a letter, a blank space. Okay, so it's not going to be 1 time, but we don't know how many characters are going to be here. So we put 1 or more time, and then match as few times as possible. Just check that. I can't go into depth with everything, but as a rule, it nearly works every time with that checked. It's better. Okay, hit accept, and then you brought to this, then hit next. Okay, so you have this regular expression that's been made. Okay. Now the good thing is that we can check that this is going to work. Here you can put in a test. Okay, so I could put in this title, day night plumber, end tag title, and this would be the result that we would get, which is perfect. That's what we want. Okay, looks right, so that you know you've done a good job and it's working. And this is the same with anything. The good thing is you can test. So I could put that and then this, and you'll see it still grabs the right information. It's using this regular expression on this information. So let's just say this is a web page, and that's what's on the web page. It's going to use that regular expression and is able to detect and grab the regular expression information we made. So if this was the page, this is what the result will be, which is perfect. So I'm going to grab this, copy, and then I'm going to come back to our bot. Okay, so we're going to go to each one of the pages. So now we're going to go to the HTTP client, which is the best way to explain it. When we've been using the browser option, okay, to go to each one of the web pages. Now what we're going to do here is use the HTTP client to grab the information from the Bing server, but we're not going to show it in the browser. We're just grabbing the text. We're saying, hey Bing, give us this. Why am I saying Bing for? Okay, in this case, to the website that we want to go to. So we're going to go to each one of the websites that we scraped. So we're going to say to the server that holds that web page, hey, give me the HTML, just give me the raw text, the raw source code. We're not going to render all the images and all the beautiful stuff that you get in the browser. We just want the plain text, the source code, which is, it looks like this. So this is the page, the web page, as you would view it if you went to the website. It looks beautiful, it's got the images and stuff. That takes a lot of resources to show. Okay, it loads the images and all the JavaScript and all the beautiful stuff. This is what we're going to get back, this, which is just the raw code underneath, the source code it's called. Okay, so why we do this, why would you want to do this? It's 100 times quicker than using the browser. Okay, so we're going to go to HTTP client, and then we're going to put the get. The get is like, say, give me the source code of whatever we input. It's like the same as when we use the browser using the load option, but we've just grabbing the source code. So choose that, get. What do we want to get? What do we want to ask for? Well, remember we made variables with the data in from our database. So we want to go here and use a variable, and we want to use the URL. Okay, so let me hit OK. So we're saying grab the data from the database and put the information into variables, and then we're going to go to the variable URL, which will be, in this case, absolutely nothing because we're not run through the bot. Okay, so let's click and then click. So the first URL in the database was this. So we've gone give me that source code. Okay, so now we can use an option on the same thing, which is the HTTP client. We can use a thing called content. Okay, so what this is doing is it knows, let me just press OK to show you. So we've got the URL, okay, we've got that as a source code, and we're saying put that into a variable, put the content of that, the web source code, into a variable called save content. You can call it what you want. Okay, so just to recap, we're going to get that URL, request it from the server that holds it, and we're going to put the content, the source code, into a variable called save content. Okay, and when you use this option, it knows to work with the item above, the URL that was last requested. So just to show you, if we go to our bug icon again, if you look under your variable save content, you'll see that the whole source code is here saved in that variable. Okay, it's really large, so I'm going to uncheck that. Everything's saved in that variable, the source code. Okay, so then what we're going to do now is that we're going to go to regular expression in our toolbox, first match. So we want to grab the first match using our regular expression. Now, where do we want to run this regular expression? Where do we want to grab the information from? Well, from our variable called save content. Yep. Okay, so go to the save content, which is the source code of the URL. Run this regular expression. What do we want to run? What regular expression do we want to run? Well, this, the one that we built. So you can copy it straight from the regular expression builder. Put that in there. And then the information that comes back, we want to put that into variables. Now, as standard, it labels it as group 1, 2, and 3, and all match. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is just to show you, then we're gonna change it. Okay, so let's come here, look at our variables. Okay, so under all match we get the result, but with the tags intact. Okay, now let's look under group 1, 2, and 3. We only get one match, the first one, so it's only one of these going to be filled out. But if you look under group 1, there we go, there's our total tag scraped. So the first URL that we get from the database, it's gone to the web page of that website, it's looked for the total tags that we made with our regular expression and grabbed it. So the total tag of the first website in our database is back pain guide, causes, symptoms, and treatment options. Okay, so what I want to do now is change these. We only need the first one. I'm going to call it the title. Makes sense? Call it something that makes sense to you. It's the title tag of the web page, so the title makes sense to me. Okay, so let me just recap. And by the way, guys, if this is a mess and you're thinking, what the hell is he going on about? Okay, just go over the video again. It will make sense. It's about practice. What I'm going to do also in the next video is do all this again, but using the browser. Okay, so you've got options, so you can learn different tactics and you can see what works best for you. This is the quickest method. What I mean by quickest is not quickest to build. This is more complicated to build. But when we go to run the bot, we could potentially run 1,000 threads, okay, all at once on one computer and be fine. If you try to do that with a browser edition of this, your computer is going to cry. It's going to want to tip water over itself because it's just too much for a computer to handle. You could run it on a VPS, a dedicated server, and do more threads, but you'll never be able to run as many as doing a browserless option. Okay, so we've gone to our database. Each line of that database or each entry, we're taking the information and putting it into different variables called URL, keyword, and title. Then we're getting the first URL, so we're going to that web page. Okay, then the content that's on that web page we're saving into a variable called save content. Then we're using a regular expression to go to that saved content, okay, and picking out our title tag using the regular expression that we built. So it's going to the source code of that web page and nicely picking out our information within the title tags, okay, and putting that into a variable called the title. Now what I want to do is I want to go to the option called database, and then we want to update record this time. Update one record, and it's going to be the current. If you don't change the record ID, then it's going to be the current records that you're working with. So it's going to be the first record, and then the next time this runs, the second record. So the thing that we want to add to the database, the good thing about doing this as well, you'll see that it's got the structure of the database already here. So it's really easy to follow. So the thing that we want to change in the database is the title tag, because it's blank at the moment. Okay, we've got nothing in there because we just scraped it. And what do we want to input into the database under the column title? Well, the title that we just scraped with a regular expression. So insert variable, which one? The title. Okay, and hit OK, and there we go. So let me just run through this with no comment just to show you. So it's going to get the web page, save content, update the database. Okay, let's exit, save, look at our database, show database manager. So we started off with the first one we skipped through. The second one, if you look, the one we just worked with, there you go. So now we're really getting somewhere. So it's come to this URL, okay? help with back pain is the keyword. We've done that in the previous video, but now look, now we've got the title tag. The title of that website is called 14 Ways to Relieve Back Pain. Okay, so let's just do this. Save, record, everything the same. Hit OK. Let's check the video time. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, 40 minutes. Okay. I hope you come with a cup of coffee to this video because it's going on. Okay, so run the bot, call function. Okay, so we're inside the function grab title, okay, because we had the checkbox checked to run this. Okay, so it's going to each line of that database. For each line, it's putting the different columns into variables, placeholders. The first one is the URL, then the keyword, then title, which will be blank in this case. Okay, then it's going to requesting the source code of each web page. Okay, it's grabbing the content, we go into that content, and then we're grabbing the title tag from the web page, and then we're putting that into the database. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through that. Okay, and then what you want to do is, I think the best way to do this, the easiest way to show you actually, so it's clear, is once it's updated, then what would happen if you don't put an end to this block is it's going to go out of, let me show you. So it's going to complete, so it's going to the next URL, doing that. Okay, it's because I rerun it, but normally it would come out of here, go back to the main, and start running through this again. So you need to give it a happy ending. Happy ending. Okay, so let's go back into our variable, into our function. At the end, once it's done this, then we want to go to script logic, put success. So it completes successfully. We just scraped, and then insert variable, the URL that we're currently on. So this is going to log out, we just scraped, and then the current URL that we scraped. Boom. Okay. So let's check this out. I think everything's in place. Let's see. This is how you know. We're going to run it, and then any errors that we find, we're going to get to. The video is starting to get quite long, so okay. So we're going to run one thread, 10, insert our list of, we don't actually need, what am I doing? We only need to fill out this because we're using the total grabber. Okay, so hit OK. There you go. I'm on a bit of a slow connection, but you see these are all the URLs that we're scraping. Okay. So let's look at our database, show database, database manager. So it hasn't done them in order, but you will see that we've gone to each one. Let me just expand the database out a little bit. Okay. There you go. So we'll see, you'll see with the ones that it's gone through, the first one, 10. Yep, that's right. Okay, so it's gone through to the first 10, and there we go. So we had the URL, keyword, and then we've gone to each one of these and we've scraped the title tag. Okay, I think this is the same URL. That's what, yeah. Okay, we should check, and we've got the URL twice in the database. So we could press this and get rid of this. So there you go. So each one is gone to the URL, it's found the title tag and put it nicely into our database. This one where it says page not found, that means it couldn't find that web page, obviously, but the rest you'll see you got your title tag. Now guys, this could be used, this method, to scrape anything from the web page. like I said at the beginning, we've done the title tag. Okay, this could be an email address, this could be any data that's on the page. You can do this with. Okay, so you could come in and do another regular expression, add another section to the database, and have a section for your H1 tags, and then again for your email, and then social details. So you can expand this as much as you like. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it here for this video because we must be close to an hour and it's quite long for a video. There is going to be more parts to this series. I hope you've learned a lot from this video. In the comments below, we'll get over to the Discord channel. Tell me where we're going with this bot, okay? Because I want to go and build it out how you guys want it and what's going to teach you things that you want to know. It's not, I'm trying to teach you guys. So you tell me what you want to see added. I know that you want to see a separation between the ads on the site, on the pages, and non-ads. We are going to build that. We're going to do that at the end, okay? But anything else that you want to see added, please let me know. As I said, come to the Discord chat. It's all going on in there. You can learn a lot from me and other people, okay? And leave your comments below, and I will, if there's a need or a lot of people want to see a certain thing added to this bot, then we will get to it. And guys, what I'm going to do is after this video is uploaded, I'm going to put a link to this script. I'm going to start every video, I'm going to release a new version of this script at the place it's at, so you can download it and you can tinker with it and you can see what I've done and how I've done it. Okay, so look in the description of this video and get your hands on this script so you can start messing around with it yourself. Okay guys, thanks a lot. I know this video has gone on quite a long time. Hope you've learned something, and I'll catch you in the next one.